You can't improve what you don't know exists. I'm Cicely, and in today's career conversation, I want to talk about an important topic that is so often overlooked: self awareness. Because most of us go through life without ever taking a step back and looking at ourselves honestly. But if you want to grow, then that's exactly what you have to do. Engage in honest self reflection and do the hard work of identifying your blind spots. As we talked about now in 3 videos, this is the third and final video of the series. You have to get gut honest about your strengths, your weaknesses, and your blind spots. That's how you become self aware, and that self awareness will open up a whole new world of possibilities for you. For those of you who are joining me live on LinkedIn and YouTube, I appreciate it. Listen, don't forget to drop me a connection request or follow me if you're on LinkedIn. For those of you on YouTube, just reach over and click that subscribe button so that you're notified every time. And of course, like the video so you're notified every time I drop a new video. But look, I know a lot of you watch these career conversations on replay. And I encourage you to join us here live Monday and Thursday mornings because these career conversations are truly vital to your success. And the topic this morning of self awareness is one of those critical topics that you need to get in touch with and do the hard work about. Now, I'm mindful that as we talk about the power of self awareness, in the previous videos, we've absolutely talked about how to get gut honest about your strengths, your weaknesses, but the blind spots are very different. And as we've talked about with our weaknesses are known to you. Blind spots are not. That is the key distinction to make as you think about becoming self aware or increasing your self awareness. Weaknesses are areas that you are known to you, and you can work on them and improve them with practice and intentionality. Blind spots are the exact opposite. You may not, and you probably don't know, and are not aware of your blind spot. That's why they're called blind spots. And so, if you're not aware of your blind spots, then these are the 10 most common that you find that we see that may help you as you begin the work of honest self reflection. That indeed you are looking at this list and it's giving you ideas about your blind spots. Now, there are other ways to identify your blind spots. You certainly can talk to a friend or a trusted colleague. You may even want to just the honest self reflection, take a step back. Take a step back and look at past patterns, your behavior, what triggers. Are there certain people or personality types that trigger you? That may very well be the case. But just as we talked about with your weaknesses, the key is identification. Once you look at that list of the 10 most common blind spots that I just showed, and you start to, again, we're talking about the list. The left side of the piece of paper, just draw a line. The left side are your weaknesses, the right side are your blind spots. As you begin to identify those blind spots or past practices, past behavior, triggers of things that trigger some behaviors in you that may be blind spots. But as you talk to those trusted sources as well, it's important that you start with identification. Because as we said a moment ago, you can't fix what you don't know exist. You can't fix your blind spots if you don't know they exist. But when it comes to fixing, you have the formula on the screen in front of you. Once you acknowledge and identify your blind spots, that's the first piece. Then you move into minimizing and diffusing them. Quite frankly, because if you minimize and diffuse your blind spots, someone can't use them against you. You're not giving someone else power to use your blind spots against you. That is a key piece of why you want to become more self aware, because it's the power of self awareness that helps you get honest about your strengths, your weaknesses, and yes, your blind spots. And it's important for you as you seek to grow in your career, as we have these critical career conversations that are so vital to your success, that you understand that your success rests on your shoulders alone. So if you're one of those people who've never taken a step back and gotten gut honest about your weaknesses, your strengths, and your blind spots, I encourage you, now is the time to do so, simply because that opportunity that you may have missed, it may be because you're standing in your own way. And as I said, none of us want to do the hard work of looking at ourselves objectively. That's not fun. But it's also absolutely necessary for you to accelerate your career growth, for you to move up in your career, and for you to achieve the level of success you desire. So you now have 3 videos. The first video was how to get gut honest. The second video was how to identify and overcome your weaknesses. Today is the third video, becoming self aware and dealing with those blind spots. And as I say to a lot of my coaching clients, and we're going through this process now of identifying blind spots, you have to understand that your blind spots are blind spots for a reason. And how you work on them, how you tackle them, what is your mindset and willingness to do the work becomes so critically important as you identify your strengths, your weaknesses, and your blind spots. So, do the work, put in the time, grab a cup of coffee, a piece of paper, sit down and do some honest self reflection. You will be glad you did, and your career trajectory will be better for it. For those of you who are joining, I am going to get to your comments. Thanks for joining on I got YouTube and LinkedIn this morning. Thank you for being here this morning. I very much appreciate it. For those of you who are here, I would love if you answer the question: how have you done self-reflection in the past? How have you become self-aware? I'd love if you put that in the chat. For me, it has taken me the 25 plus years of my career in business and politics that I am constantly looking at my strengths, my weaknesses, and my blind spots. As I tell my clients, it is not a static exercise. You're constantly evolving and changing and adapting to the people around you, the environment you're in. I encourage you that once you start this list of weaknesses and blind spots, it doesn't go on a shelf. It doesn't just sit on a piece of paper and you never look at it again. As you continually evolve, as you change, as you grow, that list will continually evolve and change with you. That's what I've learned in my career. That's what I've coached so many others for the past 25 plus years, and what I'm coaching many of you through right now. Someone says, Eileen says you may not be able to see what you're doing wrong from an outside perspective, that working with a career coach like Cicely will help you point out your weaknesses and teach them how to best fix them. Yeah, thank you, Eileen, for that. I appreciate not only that point, but I had lunch with someone yesterday, Eileen, to your point, and we were talking about coaches, and we were talking about the lady I was talking to is a state official, is a commissioner in a state, and she said she's always had executive coaching. And we began a conversation. I said the same thing to her. I said, look, in every part of my career, I've always asked for a coach. Why? Because they'll make you better. Because they will see things in you you can't see in yourself. And I get that question all the time from people that I coach. How do you see that in me? How did you reach that conclusion? T- wow, like they're just kind of overwhelmed that I can bring a different perspective to their life and career trajectory than what they can provide themselves. So, Eileen, you're right. We are so caught up in our own journey and our own day to day. It's very difficult for us sometimes to see what others may see. That's why the blind spot piece, the self awareness, that's the power of self awareness. You want to know how others perceive you, and others see those blind spots that you may not see in yourself. That is the power of self awareness that I encourage you to engage in this morning. And someone else says, yes, they've done the hard work of self reflection, and it is hard work. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. And I appreciate that affirmation because it is hard work, but the hard work is worth it. So, as I conclude this morning, I'll link to the other videos in this series, the one about getting gut honest, the one about weaknesses, and now you have this for your blind spots. Reach out to me if you have questions about your weaknesses or blind spots. You may not know that you're holding yourself back. That's a key piece of self awareness as well. Thanks for being with me this morning. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video very soon.